We'll get started with our producer panel. Okay, I'm going to introduce Steve Saccomano, host extraordinaire, to introduce our producer panel for the day and to go through our questions. Steve, of course, soon to be starting his own game show, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Paul. If we could have everybody take their seats. Is my mic on so I don't have to be, so I can walk around? Okay. So what we have coming up here is first of all, my name is Steve Saccomano with RBC Agriculture, and I've been asked again to help moderate the producer panel and tonight's events. So, and when they asked me to be part of this panel, I thought it was awesome because one of the things I like to see, and I'm sure we all like to see, is the next generation be involved and be passionate about the industry that a lot of you have been in for many years. So I wanted to do my little part in that and help support the next generation, but also talk about the fun they've been having over the last couple of years. So I will introduce each one of them up. We have an hour and we've got about 9 to 10 questions. So we want to get through them all because I'm sure you want to hear from them. First, I'm going to introduce Miss Erin Harris. So Erin comes to us from Creston, BC. Erin has an organic grass-fed Jersey operation operating with 2 robots. She farms 900 acres in the Kootenay Meadows, and she also processes on-farm artisanal cheeses and bottled milk. So Erin, come on up. Let's give her a welcome. You can take a seat in one of the comfy chairs over there. Josh Matzek, they have a dairy farm in Chilliwack, BC. His father is Bob Matzek, who I'm sure a lot of you are aware of. Josh also holds a job off farm with TerraLink Horticulture. I've known Josh since he was just a little guy, and he was a goaltender for many years playing hockey. So I think you can see that he's quite athletic. So I'm going to introduce Josh Matzek to come on up. And our third panelist today comes all the way from Chemainus, BC. Young man by the name of Doug Groenendijk. He recently obtained his business degree from VIU. He was a successful NEP entrant in April of 2023, where he currently milks jerseys on Vancouver Island. You know, I've had a chance over the years, in my 20 years of banking, to see a lot of business plans for new entrant programs. And I've never seen one so detailed and so in-depth as Doug's. Like, it was a major spreadsheet. You did a great job. He even measures his dry matter intake daily. How do you like that? So I'm going to introduce Doug Groenendijk. Come on up. So for those of you who aren't fully aware of the 3 of them, Doug has actually been through the program, so we can talk freely about his experience on the TV show Farming for Love. But Josh and Erin have been through it, but it's not been disclosed yet. So we will not be diving into what actually happened. You can try, but they won't answer those questions. So we will be respectful of that, okay? Sort of. Okay, can you still hear me? All right. Nice, comfy chair. Now, you know, I was talking about the young people in the crowd. There's old people in the crowd too. But some of us don't use Grecian formula tires. Remember, I have the mic now. All right, I'm going to start the first question off with Josh. Okay?
Good, thanks.
So Josh, can you describe your farming operation, including your location within BC, your style or type of production, number of cows, and key stakeholders involved?
Yeah, so we're milking 100 cows on 2 robots in Rosedale, BC. With me and my dad are kind of the 2 main guys on there, and say that the style of farming is pretty relaxed.
Because of the robots?
Yeah, and we just can't take things too seriously. Like to enjoy it. I enjoy farming with my dad too. We have a lot of fun together. from farming to everything else that we do. So it's just always fun.
Good. Well, thanks for that. Erin, you want to follow up on that?
Yeah, so I farm in Creston, BC. We are a certified organic grass-based farm. We process 100% of our milk on the farm and distribute it throughout the Kootenays and Western Canada. Milk 120 Jersey crosses. They're a bit of a rainbow, to be honest. And 2 Lely A4s. I grew up on the dairy, and in January of 23, I bought the farm. So I'm the main stakeholder, and then I have 15 staff between the farm, processing, and distribution.
Did you say you actually bought the farm?
Yes.
You own the farm. Good
Yeah.
for you. Wow. See, it can be done. It can be done. Doug, now we have robots. Your turn.
Yeah. So, yeah, my name is Doug. I'm from Vancouver Island. I farm in Chemainus, and I'm a recent NEP. So I started back in April. So I'm not even a year in yet, but I'm milking about 40 to 50 jerseys. Grew quite a bit larger than I thought I would, just because of quota being available and having a nice banker like Steve.
I did not pay you to say that, right?
And yeah, no, it's gone pretty well. Some ups and downs, but I really enjoy it. I'm milking in a 6 herringbone parlor that I'm renting, and I rent the land around me as well.
And you're also nice and close to the family farm as well, right? So
Yes,
that's,
yeah, and I grew up on my parents' dairy. That's about 15-minute drive from my operation. So, yeah.
Okay, thanks for that, Doug. And you're going to start with the next question. Do you remember a specific experience where you wished, or from the collective partnership of your farm, had done differently?
Oh.
If you were to do it over, what would you change?
Well, I'm not even a year in, so I haven't seen that like all my mistakes come to fruition probably yet. So we'll see if I'm still here in a couple of years farming on my own, but
Make sure of that, yeah.
yeah. I think the biggest thing I did was I decided to use the bunkers for my feed a year prior to me starting to produce. And that was a mistake because it was too large of a bunker space for me to get through it without it spoiling and all that. So just kind of learning the smaller farm growing pains. So I've sold all my feed to my parents, and I partner with them to buy the feed back and bring it back to my farm.
Okay, thanks for that, Doug. Now, Josh, I'm going to ask you the same thing. What would you do different from your dad?
Well, I think I was too lazy back in 2003 when I was sitting in school not buying land. That would have been probably my smartest move. But I don't know. There's always little things that you could do differently looking back on it, but you just kind of run with it, you deal with it, and keep going. I don't know. Nothing too crazy.
Okay, Erin?
I feel like I always have a laundry list of things that I wish that I did differently or we had done differently. A big thing for us was when we did our transition plan. It was beautiful on paper, like made tons of sense and everything. It didn't fully take into consideration everyone's feelings and the dynamics of multiple generations and stuff. So we spent multiple years on a transition plan and then ended with, I just borrowed the money from FCC and bought my parents out clean, which has been difficult, but good that we don't have all those like tensions involved. But so I would say I wish we had maybe considered feelings a little more and not just numbers in our transition plan, because it was a lot of time and money spent on a plan that then was like, well, that actually doesn't work in practice. So that's one. And then we're always experimenting with like crop production and things. The Kootenays is becoming increasingly difficult to establish forages and things in because it is so dry in the summers. So that sort of is stuff that we've started over the years. But yeah, experimenting with a lot of no-till and things.
Okay, and just going forward, this is an FCC free zone. So if
Where were you for her, Steve?
Yeah, exactly.
that came from Krista, not me, I'm just, so if they say FCC, just silent them real quick. Well, I will start with you on the next question, Erin. No disrespect to my FCC partners in the crowd. With each of you being from a different part of BC, have you implemented any innovative practices or technologies to improve your efficiencies or overcome your challenges?
So yeah, I guess that kind of leads into it. That, yeah, we're experiencing major droughts in the summers, the last couple summers, and extreme cold in the winter, which is been a weird thing. We hit -43 this winter for a couple days, and the robots don't appreciate that cold of weather, and especially because our barns aren't built for it. So we've spent a lot of time like closing our barns up a bit more for winter and making it so we can open in the summer. But then big things for us, like I say, have been like forage establishment. So I do a lot of organic no-till practices where I'm roller crimping fall rye, and then seeding through a forage mat to try and increase my soil organic matter, reduce weed pressure, and keep moisture in my soils. And we've been breeding A2 for quite a few years, like 10. So our herd, we've transitioned our herd to A2 to sort of meet that market demand. And then a big part of transitioning to jerseys actually was our summers are so hot now that the Holsteins didn't graze well. The jerseys definitely do a lot better in the hot summer grazing. So that's sort of, we've just tried to deal with our summers as they've changed.
Doug?
Yeah, so I'm relatively new, but I thought that being a new entrant, you kind of need a second job off farm. So I'm quite often on my farm in the mornings, and then I go to my parents' farm and work all day there, and then come back to my farm. So I'm not on my farm very much. So it's a lot of monitoring that I thought would be a good investment. So I got a heat detection system that really helped me out. Problem was I bought all my cows fresh, and they all got bred at the same time, and they all got pregnant at the same time. So I got lots of cows due here in the next month or two here. So that's a big problem, but you know, just growing pains. And then another thing that I thought was a good investment was buying a feed pusher. Just because I was off farm all day and I'd come back at the end of the day and the feed wouldn't be near the cows and they couldn't reach. And I got little jerseys in an old Holstein barn. So yeah, they kind of needed the extra feed pusher to push it up, and now it pushes up the feed quite a bit, and I've seen a large milk increase in buying that feed pusher.
Is the next step one of those, what do you call
Oh,
those?
the vectors?
The vectors, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's out of my budget for now.
Okay.
Talk to him.
Good to hear. Who actually, did I say that out loud? Who actually advised you to breed all the cows at once? Was it TARS?
No. Yeah, no, I was just like, I bought them all, and I was like, well, I'll just hit my voluntary waiting period, and then boom, breed them all. And you know, I was in it. Well, I thought I wasn't very good at breeding, but they all caught. So
Oh,
jerseys, I don't know, they're just incredible that way. You just throw semen in them, and they're pregnant.
sounds easy.
Yeah.
Josh, same question to you. Do you remember the question?
No.
You need me to repeat it again? It has been long up here already. So you're from a different part of BC, Chilliwack. Have you on your farm implemented any innovative practices or technologies to improve your efficiencies and overcome your challenges?
Yeah, I think kind of a combination of both. Just you know, in the barn, the efficiencies of, you know, having a feed pusher and little things like that to make it easier, having heat detection, just to, you know, both me and my dad work off farm too. I've got another job, and my dad's just busy in a lot of different places. So there's a lot of time that there's nobody at the farm. So to just any way we can kind of automate it, you know, we've done pretty well at that, while still managing to monitor it good enough and you know, do well. And then even comes to cropping, I think just over the years, we've had some tougher summers too. And just with the way things have been changing, just, yeah, minimal till. I don't think we totally go no till like you out here, but we kind of that direction, and just experimenting with different things in the fields and trying to bump the crops up.
I'm sorry, I got taken aback when you said your dad actually does other things.
Yeah, once in a while.
Yeah, does he? Okay.